Okay, we're back here at DSC Sport, and we're working on a 2019 Evo. So this is a Huracán Evo, so it means it's a two-wheel drive. And we're just about to install the DSC Sport Controller. It's actually quite simple. There's a covered panel in the rear. We had to remove the seat, and this car has a roll bar assembly. Normally we wouldn't have to do that. We could slide the seat forward and we could gain access. But you can see that we have a roll cage in our way, and we didn't want to disturb that. We really don't have to. All we're doing is simply pulling up, and there's the controller. And if you would hold that right there for me. And the controller literally does not have any fasteners that hold it in. It's merely just clipped into its location. I've already unclipped it, but I'm going to show you how simple that it was under there. It was just under that clip and the one above it. It's just you push one, and then once you do, you can kind of pop it out. I've already pulled the leg out like this, and I'm going to remove the connector from it. Install the new DSC Sport Controller, so keep that there. And it's a really simple install. It's a direct plug and play. And first thing I'm going to do, you can see it's a DSC Sport Controller. It's really located in the same position. And whenever you're not sure about plugging it in, you know, does it go this way? Does it go this way? Look at the offset in the pins. See the offset here? And you'll notice that that corresponds to the offset in the connector. So I'm going to merely plug this together, okay? And it's going to slide right in to its location. I see that. I let the slide mechanism actually grab what I call the drive pins that are in the connector and do the work. I'm not pushing it in. I'm really just sliding it. It's locked in. Okay. Now I'm going to locate it into. Just make sure it's locked. Oh, now it is. I heard it click. I know everybody heard that. And I'm merely putting it right into its location, which I think I can do with my finger. And yes, I did. And that is about as high-tech as the install is on a Huracán model. And I believe that the model ranges from 2014. I believe that's the first year of the Huracán. Could be 13, but it's really the entire Huracán model. They all have the same CAN commands. Whether it's two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, they really all take the same control. And the really cool part about the DSC Sport, and let me just show you something here for 1 moment. I'm just going to break away. All right, you can lower that down 1 second. And I'm just going to kind of pan around here. Nick, if you would just step out of there for 1 second. And part of the install, actually, this is a fully integrated system. So now, when you're changing modes, when you're going from the Strata mode to the Sport mode, or to the Corsa mode, which is track, so you really have like a touring, a sport, and a track mode. When you're changing in these modes, your dampers are now fully active with that. You'll notice now that if you like driving your car, let's say in the touring mode, but it keeps defaulting to the sport mode, wherever you leave it last will be the default. So if you like driving in the sport mode, but you like the damper in the touring mode, you can do it accordingly with the controls. It won't keep defaulting to the sport mode where it rides really stiff and really terrible. So I really have spent a lot of time on that in my Performante, and you'll enjoy the ride, and the performance will be just stunning. You just won't believe what goes on. Beautiful car, just stunning. And the install's super simple. We included a cable with that in case he wants to do any additional tuning. He won't. Right out of the box, it's about as good as it's going to get. So anyhow, stay tuned for what comes next. Right now we've got the DSC Sport Controller installed, and it's fully integrated into the car. The only difference is now, depending on where right now your street mode or your Strada will follow the street mode in the dampers or the suspension, and the sport mode, as we are right here, will be a really nice, you no longer, it won't be like a crashing, harsh experience where you're like just hanging on for dear life on the street to where your eyeballs are moving. Now the sport is really good, really planted. You don't get all that horrible feeling where you constantly got to drive the car in Strada. You can drive sport all the time. Same with track mode, it's a little more aggressive, and the difference in aggression between the street, or rather the Strada, the sport, or the street mode, the Strada mode, is the algorithm. And what I've actually done is I changed the aggression in which it climbs the G table. The actual shock calibration table is really very similar. It's just the rate at which it changes that. So your ride in the Strada mode is just incredible, like better than it was, but yet the handling will be better than the track mode was before by a lot, because the track mode was terrible where it doesn't get grip because it's so stiff, because the damper is so rigid in the low speed range that the tires are breaking loose. So the Strada is better than the track was, and then the sport mode is to die for. That was like one of my favorite. The sport mode, you can drive it everywhere you want to go. You'll love the throttle response, the sound of the exhaust. Everything is perfect in sport mode. And then when you're in track mode, you can drive it on the street. It's amazing, puts down power like a madman, and just does the business. And this 10-cylinder will just love where it's at. So that's a tour of how to use the dampers in the Huracán model, probably from, I think it's 13 to 23 at the moment, or 24. And that's probably the end of the run. I think 25 will be the next variant where they'll have the next engine. We're not going to say at the moment what we know. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the controller. Do give us feedback when you install it in your Huracán. I think you'll love not only the ride, but the grip. The grip is just astounding, and the handling is better than the ride. It's hard to imagine, but it's true. Thanks.